Mic check. Ha, ha, ha. Opinionated with a rock shocker. Mic check. Ha, ha, ha. Opinionated with a rock shocker. One. Mic check. Ha, ha, ha. Opinionated with a rock shocker. Mic check. Ha, ha, ha. Opinionated with a rock shocker. One.
We find ourselves in this world of opinion on socialism because of our use of evaluative words in our Google search, good and bad. Google has done a pretty good job in getting us to the sort of content we asked for. I say pretty good because it wasn't really successful in getting us to the good side of the debate. This may indicate that the debate is dominated by those who contend that socialism is bad for America, and that they are the most motivated and publish the most content on the subject. Let's remove the opinion portion of our search in an effort to find something more like information and less like opinion, or at least remove us from the judgment and persuasive sort of content. Let's enter socialism in America. Notice that even here, as we scan the list of linked text, we haven't fully escaped a debate over socialism in America. The article at tysknews.com, which seems neutral on the surface, turns out to be on the current debate when you look inside. However, let's take a look at the contents of the top link, Socialism in America. While we can't say that this is void of any bias, it shows an essentially dispassionate, non-judgmental accounting of socialism in America. As we scroll down, we find an overview of names of important people and significant organizations and political parties and the dates of significant events. We don't find any judgment of socialism as an economic model. We would have to look very close for very subtle signs of bias, such as what events were left out of the piece, and ask why. If we now replace the word America with Europe, we can see how we further remove ourselves from this local debate. Here we do seem to eliminate the debate in America. Notice that a Wikipedia reference has surfaced. Notice near the top of the results we get a reference to a socialist magazine. We haven't had a chance yet to hear about socialism from a socialist voice. We may find our best opportunity here to get the other side of the debate that eluded us when we had America in our search engine. When it comes time to examine the various opinions and arguments on the subject, this may be a good place to go to get a different opinion. Let's make another attempt to reduce the judgmental and persuasive content from our search result. Let's simply enter, what is socialism? Notice that the first link gets us to definitions of socialism. And again, we see the Wikipedia article on socialism. Let's click on that and take a look. I find here a dispassionate discussion on socialism with plenty of references and citations for the facts given. It is often thought that Wikipedia can't be trusted because anybody can place content here. But facts from any source should be checked. Here, unlike many sources, we often get citations to source material to check the statements out. And you may see a request for citation where one is missing, alerting you to the fact that the statement hasn't been supported. You don't find this on just any material. We find here a lot of detail on the subject. It is important to be aware of discussions, especially the passionate discussions that speak entirely in terms of a general word like socialism, and never discuss the topic in terms of specifics. Here we start to learn about the many flavors of socialism, social democrats, libertarian socialism, etc. We can explore the difference between nationalism, state control, collective ownership. A society can be partially socialistic, where markets are regulated or controlled to various degrees, and certain institutions are state-run and controlled and others are not. To discuss socialism as though it were a single fixed idea is misleading. There isn't much we can say at this level, and it certainly shouldn't be the level at which we form judgments about its value. These more specific notions get us thinking about how it actually works in a society. We now can develop opinions in terms of its actual implementation. We now may choose to do a Google search based on these more specific, more meaningful aspects of socialism to begin to understand these differences and form our own, more meaningful and nuanced opinion. It helps us to be more independent thinkers if we get into the habit, when we are reading material in any context, of asking, is this someone's opinion? Is this writer trying to persuade me? Are citations given for the facts presented? In doing an argumentative paper, it is important to do research prior to coming to a thesis statement, and to try to get as dispassionate, non-judgmental, non-persuasive content as possible in doing the research. This will help us to more objectively come to our own opinion, which will guide our thesis statement. If you are using a search engine, be mindful of what you use in your search criteria. Consider whether your preconceived ideas on the subject are impacting the information you get to. Experiment with search strings to see how it changes the search results. Finally, given the difficulty in getting around the popular debate content on this subject, we should question whether an internet search engine is a good strategy for doing research of this sort. Would it be more efficient to take trusted advice on sound websites for obtaining the sort of information we are after? However, if that becomes your preference, don't forget the search engine. It can be a great way to get to new information that just might change your opinion.